Hilchos Shechitah, Perek Shleisha Asar. The laws of ritual slaughter, chapter 13. The topic today is not related to Shechitah. It's not going to be about slaughtering so much. It's going to be about the mitzvah, what's called Shiluach Haken. Shiluach Haken means sending away from the nest. The Torah says, this is the verse on the screen here, it says, Ki yikarei kan sipor lefanecha. If you chance upon a nest of a bird, Baderech b'chol eitz o al haaretz, on the road, on a tree, on the ground, efrochim o beitzim. In the nest there are chicks or eggs. V'ha'em rovetzet al ha'efrochim o al ha'beitzim. And the mom, the mother bird, is crouching, sitting on the chicks or on the eggs. Here's the mitzvah. Lo tikach ha'em al habanim. You may not take the mother together with the chicks. That's how we're going to translate it here, because that's how the Rambam translates it. There are many opinions as to how exactly we're supposed to translate Lo tikach ha'em al habanim. The Rambam understands it as together with. The mitzvah is that you're not supposed to take the mother and the chicks together. Instead, what do? If you want to have the chicks, so the pasuk says Shaleach teshalach et ha'em, send away the mother bird, ve'et habanim tikach lach, and then you can take the kids. Laman yitav lach v'harach tayamim. It's one of the two mitzvahs in the Torah that we're promised a good life and long life if you do this mitzvah properly. So, why is this mitzvah in the laws of Shechitah? So, one answer is because we're going to see that you only really transgress the mitzvah once you slaughter the mother. Once you make it impossible to send the mother away, that's when you transgress. Others suggest that it's because this mitzvah is like Shechitah. Just like slaughtering, there's no mitzvah to slaughter. If you want to have meat for dinner, then you have to slaughter. Same thing with Shiluach Haken. You don't have to go and find a nest and send the mother bird away. If you find the mother bird and you want the chicks, so it's a voluntary mitzvah. In other words, if you come across the situation, then you have to do it. That's what some say. It's not so simple because others argue. Others do say that if you come across a nest, you have to send away the mother bird, even if you don't want the chicks. But the Rambam seems to understand that it's a voluntary thing. Huh?
Why would you send her away?
For the mitzvah. There's a mitzvah, shaleach teshalach et ha'em. You see the nest, send away the mother bird. Today's chapter is going to be all about many different scenarios. When you send away the mother, when you don't send away the mother, when you should, but if you don't, it's okay. After you finish the chapter, you think like only the Rambam could have come up with so many details, but today there are books on this mitzvah. When I was in Israel, I found a book called Shiluach Haken. Like this guy was like 1,400 different cases that he came up with to understand exactly where and when the mitzvah applies. But we're going to learn the Rambam. We're going to learn the Rambam and see all of the cases that he describes. So, says the Rambam halacha aleph, halakeach eim al habonim ushchata. If a person takes the mother bird with the chicks, or the eggs, as we'll soon see, and slaughters the mother, so now he makes it impossible to ever send away the mom. Habasar mutar ba'achila. The meat of the bird, or the chicks, is okay to eat. V'loike al shchita sa'im. But you get lashes for slaughtering the mother bird. That's how you transgress the mitzvah. Shenemar lo yisikach ha'em al habanim. It says clearly, do not take the mother together with the chicks. Similarly, if the mother bird dies before he sends it away, he didn't do anything. He didn't slaughter it. It just died. But now the circumstances are impossible. He can no longer do the mitzvah of sending it away. Loike, he gets lashes. But if he took the mother and the chicks, and then he regretted doing the Aveira, and he's like, you know what, let me send away the mother bird. So he sent away the mother bird after he took him both with the chicks, potter, he's actually exempt. Because the Rambam understands, there's an argument in the Talmud about this. If you can correct this mitzvah, is the mitzvah only at the moment of the taking, and if you took the mother with the chicks, you're out? Or even if you took it later, you can later on send away the mom. And that's how the Rambam rules that you could. As long as you correct your deed afterwards, you're good. If you come to a situation where you can no longer correct it, let's say you slaughtered the mother or died, then of course you're out. Now the truth is, this is a principle that applies in all of Torah. Halacha beis v'chein kol mitzvahs lo yisaseh shenitka la'aseh. Any negative commandment which can be fixed by a positive commandment, chayav lekayem aseh sheba, you're obligated to fulfill the positive commandment, v'im lo kiyim and if you didn't fulfill it, you get lashes. Classic example is if you steal something. If you rob an object from somebody, you have a mitzvah to return the stolen object. So that's a lav. It's a negative commandment to steal. But you have the option to correct it by returning it. Halacha Gimel, ba'echad v'chatav ha'em miyadai v'shilcha. You transgressed. You took the mother with the chicks. Then somebody comes and grabs the mother bird away from you, and he sends it away. Or the mother bird slipped away from your hands without your awareness. Loike, you get lashes. Shenemar shalach, or shaleach, here it is, tishalach. You need to send away the mother bird. Ad sheyeshaleach me'atzmoi. That means that he has to do it himself. In this situation where someone grabbed it away from you, or it ran away, you didn't do the positive commandment. Halacha dalid, not al eimal abanim. A person transgressed the mitzvah. He took the mom with the chicks. And then he cut off its wings, so the mother bird can't fly. V'shilcha, and he sent it away. In other words, this guy, he wants to get both. He wants to get the mother and the chicks. So he knows that I have to send away the mother bird. But he's worried that if he sends away the mother bird and lets it fly away, he's never going to get it back. So he cuts the wings off, and then he says, you know what, go, take a walk. Tells the bird to go take a walk. So he thinks that after the bird will go away, he'll be able to trap it again. Says the Rambam, this is one of those cases where you found the loophole. The Torah is not going to hold you accountable. But makinoise makas mardus. The rabbis will make you suffer. You're going to get some rabbinic lashes. And the fine, the sage said, is you have to keep the mother bird by you till its wings grow back, and then you send it away properly. And if the bird dies before that time, or it runs away and gets lost, the man gets lashes, because he did not fulfill the mitzvah of sending away the mother bird. He thought he was going to make a little kombina and get away with it. You get, not only do you get rabbinic lashes, but you also have to make sure that it actually grows its wings back and send it away. Halacha hey v'keitzad mishaleach ha'em. How indeed do you go about sending away the mother bird? Oiches biknafeha u'mafricha. You have to hold it by its wings and make it fly. Shilcha v'chazra v'shilcha v'chazra. If you sent it away but it came back, and you sent it away but it came back, and we're talking about where it came back before you had a chance to grab the eggs or the chicks. So the mitzvah is still relevant. Afilu arba v'chamish pa'amim. Even if it happens 4 or 5 times, chayav l'shaleach, you must resend it again. Shenemar shaleach tishalach, double expression. Send, you shall send. Whenever Torah says a double expression, it means you have to do it, as the Talmud says, afilu mea pa'amim, even 100 times. Like by returning a lost object, it's hashev teshivim. It means you have to return it, and if it gets lost, you return it again. You got to keep returning it. Here too, you have to keep sending it. Ha'omer, what if somebody says, you know what, I'll do the opposite way. The Torah says I can't take the mother with the chicks. So instead of sending away the mother, I'll take the mother. I'll take the mom, and I'll send away the chicks. No. You're obligated to still send away the mother bird. Shenemar, as it says, shaleach teshalach es ha'em. Torah makes it clear. You must send away the mother, not the chicks. Halacha zayin lokach es habanim. If somebody took the chicks, and the commentaries explain that it means he took it in a permitted way. He sent away the mother, and he took the eggs or the chicks, and then he put them back in the nest. He needed a quick storage spot, put the eggs or the chicks back in the nest, and by the time he put them back in the nest, the mother comes back. So the situation is now recreated. Does he have to send her away again? Says the Rambam, poter mila shaleach. Here he's exempt from sending the mother bird away, and we're going to soon see why the Torah words the situation with the following 2 words in the beginning. Ki kare. Ki kare means it has to happen by chance. Here, it didn't happen by chance. Originally it happened by chance, but you sent away the mother bird. Now you put the eggs back in. You created,
No time limit?
No time limit. No time limit. Yeah. As long as you created the situation again, it didn't happen on its own, you have no obligation to send. If you sent away the mother bird, and you're an expert hunter, you see those people who know how to trap birds very well, and he re-snared, he re-trapped the mother bird, that's allowed. You did the mitzvah, you sent it away. The Torah only forbade trapping the mother when it cannot fly away because of the offspring that it's protecting, so it shouldn't be taken away. In the blue. The mother is sitting on the chicks. That's the problem. But if he released the mother bird from his hand, in other words, he got it away from the nest, and now she has no limitation, nothing's holding her back in that current situation, so retrapping her is allowed. The whole mitzvah of sending away the mother bird only applies, number one, to a kosher bird. Number two, it's not at hand. It's not prepared. It's something random. Like doves that live in a dovecot, or they made a nest in the attic, or birds that made a nest in an orchard. Shenemar ki kare says in the purple. It has to happen by chance. Aval hamizuman, but if it's ready-made nests, these are normal nests. They happen totally ordinarily on your property. Like geese or chickens or doves that nested in a building in your home. You have no obligation to send them away because that's not a chance encounter. That's a regular encounter. If the chicks in the nest were so old that they can fly on their own, they don't need their mother. Or on the other hand, it was unfertilized eggs. That means eggs that will never develop into chicks. There's no obligation to send away the mother bird before you take the eggs or the chicks. That's learned from the verses. The verses compare the eggs and the chicks. The chicks have to be dependent like the eggs are dependent, and the eggs have to be livable like the chicks are alive. If the chicks, unfortunately, were mortally wounded, they're not going to live out a year. They're considered like unfertilized eggs. They're not going to live, and you're exempt from sending away the mother bird before you take them. What if you found not the mother? See in the pasuk it says the mother was sitting on the chicks. You found the father. A male bird is resting on a nest. I guess you have to know your stuff. Pater mila shaleach, you're exempt from sending away the mother bird. If you have a non-kosher bird sitting on a kosher bird's eggs, or a kosher bird sitting on a non-kosher bird's eggs, pater mila shaleach, you're exempt from sending it away. Halacha Yudalef, what if it's a kosher bird on kosher eggs, but not its eggs? So then, ideally, you should send away the mother bird. But if you didn't send it away, you're not going to get lashes. If the mom herself was mortally wounded, is not going to live out the year, you still need to send her away. What if you slaughtered part of the pipes, the windpipe, the food pipe, part of them? You didn't do a full slaughter, you did a partial slaughter while the bird was in the nest before you took it. Chayav l'shaleach. At this point, you still must send her away. Now, the scenario here has to be a case where you made her into a treifa, because we remember that for birds, they only have to slaughter one pipe to be a ritual slaughter. The windpipe, as long as you slaughtered part of the windpipe, the animal can survive. Once you slaughtered most of the windpipe, the bird, could survive. Once you slaughtered most of the windpipe, the bird is considered dead. It's slaughtered. So clearly we're talking about the food pipe. The food pipe, the slightest puncture makes the bird a treifa. And the Rambam just said in the last halacha that if the mother is a treifa, you have to send her. So obviously, you have to send her. And why does it make a difference if it's before you take it, after you take it? So some people want to amend the Rambam to be talking about not the mother bird being slaughtered, but the chicks. If you slaughtered part of the chicks, then you still have to send away the mother bird. That's the chiddush of the Rambam. Others say no, the Rambam is talking about the mother bird, and when you slaughter it inside the nest, it's different than slaughtering it outside the nest. At any rate, that's what the Rambam seems to say. If you don't send it away, in this case, you're not going to get lashes. If the bird was hovering over the nest, if her wings are touching the nest, you must send her away. She's still considered attached to the nest. If not, you're exempt from sending her away. You can simply take the eggs. If a cloth or feathers were intervening between the wings of the mother and the nest, you still must send her away. But if you didn't send her away, we're not going to hold you accountable, because there is, in the end of the day, some interposition between the mom and the eggs. Halacha Yudalet hayu shnei sidrei beitzim uknafeha noigos baseder elyon. There's 2 rows of eggs, and the mother's wings are only touching the higher row. You see how nuanced and complicated we can get over here. You have 2 rows, and it's touching the upper row. Or she was literally sitting, not just touching, sitting on eggs. But the eggs she was sitting on were unfertilized. Only the ones under are fertilized. Or it was a mom on top of a mom. There were 2 birds resting on the nest. Or the father bird was on the nest and the mother bird was on top of the father. You shouldn't take the mother bird with the chicks in this case. If you took the mother bird, ideally first send her away. And the bottom line, if you didn't send her away, you're not going to get lashes. The chick is sitting amongst, this is not such a good picture, but let's say it was sitting amongst the eggs. It wasn't touching them. It was just in the middle of a circle of eggs. You're exempt from sending her away. Similarly, if the bird was outside the nest, on the side, and its wings were touching the nest from the side, not from the top, you're exempt from sending her away. If the mom was on 2 branches, so it wasn't touching the nest, but the nest was right under those 2 branches. So we check. So long as if you remove the branches, the bird would fall right down onto the nest. That's considered on top of the nest, and you have to send her away. In the verse, it talks about plural. The chicks, the eggs. What if it was only sitting on 1 chick or 1 egg? You still have to send it away. The Talmud understands that it's not plural specifically, just plural for the common case. If somebody finds a nest in an unusual spot, a nest floating on the water, a nest on top of an animal's back, you have to send away the mother bird. The only reason Torah says it in the plural, 2 chicks, 2 eggs. So the only reason Torah describes the nest as being on a tree or on the ground, it's a major principle. Torah speaks in the common case. But it's also true that if there was only 1 egg or 1 chick, or it wasn't on the tree or the ground, it was on the animal's back or on the water, it's also the same case, and you must do the mitzvah of sending away the mother bird. It's forbidden to acquire the eggs, as long as the mom is still sitting there. Therefore, even if the mom was sitting on the eggs or on the chicks in your own attic or in your own birdhouse, einan mizumanim, they're not considered to be prepared and ready to go, and your property doesn't acquire for you. Later in the 10th book, I'm going to have a whole piece on that. It's called kinyan chatzer. A person's property can acquire stuff that are on it for him, but only in certain circumstances. And one of the major principles is that only if you could acquire it, does your property acquire it for you as well. And over here, the same way you cannot acquire the eggs on behalf of others until you send away the mother, so too your property cannot acquire it for you until you send away the mother. Therefore you're obligated to send away the mother bird, and only then take the eggs. Halacha Yutes, this mitzvah goes so far. It's forbidden to take the mother with the chicks, even if you want to use it for a holy reason, not for dinner. There's a whole process for tzarat. Somebody gets a lesion on the skin. After he becomes pure, he has to bring 2 birds as part of a ceremony. One is slaughtered, one is sent away. So you want to take away this mother bird for that guy. You want to help him out do a mitzvah. You can't. V'im lakach, and if you did take the mother bird, chayav l'shaleach, you must send her away. V'im leishilach loike, and if you don't send her away, you get lashes. She'ein asay doiche leis asay v'asay, because a positive commandment to do the mitzvah with the guy with tzaras cannot push away a negative and a positive. Here you have a negative and a positive. Leisikach ha'em al abanim and shaleach t'shalach ha'sa'im. Indeed, a positive commandment can't even override another positive commandment, even if it was just positive against positive. Certainly here it's positive against negative and positive. So the other mitzvah doesn't supersede the mitzvah to send away the mother bird. Halacha chaf, an exception to the rule, hamakdish oif lebedek habayis, if somebody has a bird in his house and he consecrates it, he sets it aside to the temple treasury. There's two ways to make something holy. Kodshe mizbeach, you make it holy for the altar, you want to bring it as a sacrifice. And then you have what's called kodshe bedek habayis. I want to make a donation to the temple, I'm going to give them a bird. So he sets aside a bird for the temple treasury, uparach miyadai, and then the bird flies away. But he knows how it looks, he has a sign on it. And later on, 2 days later, he finds it. He finds it in a nest with eggs and chicks. Maybe not 2 days, maybe 2 weeks, whatever. It flies away, and he finds it later, and they created a whole nest. Here there's no mitzvah. Simply lift up the whole nest with the bird, with the eggs, and bring it to the temple treasury. You got to bring everything because whatever came from the bird also belongs to Hashem. But the point is, there's no mitzvah to send away the mother bird, you just take it all together. The whole mitzvah of sending the mother bird doesn't apply to hekdesh, to consecrated things. Why? Because look what it says in the verse. It says, send away the mother, and the chicks take for yourself. That means that the whole mitzvah is only in a scenario where you can take the chicks for yourself. The elu einan shalach, these chicks, these eggs, since they came from a bird which was made holy, you can't take it for yourself, hence there's no mitzvah. Halacha chaf aleph, oif sheharag es hanefesh. If there's a bird that killed a human being, pater mila shaleach, you're exempt from sending it away. As a matter of fact, you should keep it. It's a mitzvah to bring the bird to court, to have it judged. Any animal or bird that kills a human being has to itself be killed. So if you know that a bird killed a human being, don't send it away. You have another commandment, take it with you. Take it to court and allow the court to judge this bird.